Hey, hey, hey. Hello, 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 hello.
Hello, hey. Oh, am I going too loud? All right, let's get the focus. Let's see if the focus will work. Any focus yet? On yet? All right, let's see if it's on manual or not. I'm gonna do this. Hey, there we go. Hello, everyone. Right. Hi. Thank you for watching. I hope you really enjoyed. Very, very grateful for you and this wonderful community that we've made. And yeah, like the fact that, you know, I can be making a Taoist film like that, which is 55 minutes long, and hiring Joe, the wonderful editor who's behind me right now, sorting out some crisps and some drinks for us to celebrate, because it's been a hell of a lot of work. And yeah, just, you know, I feel like we've created something quite special with this community, so thank you. And I hope you enjoyed. I've been following along in the chat and seeing you guys chatting about stuff. Here's the wonderful Joe.
Hi.
Delivering some crisps and some water.
I'll be back.
He'll be back. We'll have a Joe debrief as well. Yeah. So before we get into any questions, I would be grateful if right now you could share the video. You know, as you can see, hopefully from having watched the film, that was months of work, literally 6 months. And yeah, a lot of love and time put into it, and we decided to release it for free on YouTube because, you know, we are passionate about spreading Taoism with as many people as possible, and so, you know, having this film out for free for people is important to me, and so that, you know, as many people can see it as possible. But that means that if this film is going to actually reach people, and I hope that you, after watching it, think it deserves to, and hopefully some of the ideas resonated with you, then yeah, it really depends on you sharing. So if right now you could share for me, share on your Facebook, share with your friends, share on your WhatsApp, share on your TikTok, share on your YouTubes, however you want to do it, I'd be grateful. And then in terms of how you can get deeper, like watching it again if you want, and, you know, having it full screen on your TV, and maybe watching it with friends, and then afterwards you can have a bit of a discussion session, and yeah, just start exploring these ideas for yourself, because I try and see this film as an offering to help you with your journey of discovery. You know, these are the ideas that have helped me, and this is my journey, but, you know, we are all unique. We're all on our own unique journey. So you have to internalize these ideas for yourself, and to make it true about the story of who you are, specific to your unique creative spirit. So yeah, find it out for yourself, and that can help. If you talk about these ideas with friends, then it begins to make sense with you. It clarifies your own thinking. So you're down here for me, and yeah, I'm grateful for all the donations. Thank you, Remco, and the other people on the film. Yeah, very grateful, and thank you for sharing. I'm going to read your thoughts here. You're down with me here. Oh, I'm so glad so many of you enjoyed it. Thank you. Yeah, so if you have any questions, we'll have kind of 10 minutes together, and then we'll get Joe on as well, and then, you know, you can learn more about the filmmaking process. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. Amazing. I'm just going to turn down the camera a bit. I'm a bit overexposed. Let's try that. All right, translations of the Tao Te Ching, and thank you for sharing, Paddy, thank you. Yeah, translations of the Tao Te Ching, I've got a few. I really like Derek Lin's. I'm just going to do the focus trick. Derek Lin, yeah, is fantastic. He's got lots of great books that are practically applying the Tao and all this learning. Wayne Dyer, again, has the kind of practical self-help look at the Tao Te Ching and the wisdom it can offer us. And yeah, otherwise Red Pine has a more kind of philosophical translation. But yeah, Derek Lin and Wayne Dyer are probably the two that I recommend first of all. So Stephen says, you said in the movie about having that sense of peace and emptiness in the mind. Is this one of the true purposes of Taoism, to be empty so that you can flow with whatever part of life comes with you? Yeah, so as you saw in the film, I kind of understood Taoism intellectually, but I still didn't feel it as part of who I was. And one of the most powerful things for me was being in a forest and being with non-human consciousnesses, having some emptiness, having some space. So this has long been a method of discovery for the Taoists, because in our normal lives we cram our everyday existence with stimulations and too many things going on, so we can't really hear our inner wisdom. We can't hear the more subtle understanding of who we are, because we're distracted by things that are taking our attention in very short bursts. So having some emptiness gives you the space to reflect. And often you'll find, if you have some emptiness, like going for a shower, going for a run, you'll have thoughts pop up that previously didn't have the space to arise. And so emptiness is powerful. But whether or not that's the purpose of Taoism, I'd say that it's more a method of discovery for Taoism. It's not the purpose in the sense that Taoism isn't only about emptying ourselves. Taoism is a kind of a method for understanding ourselves, and one of the methods they have is emptying yourself. So meditation, Tai Chi is a moving meditation. These practices that help us get out of our heads and into our bodies and come into the present moment. These are powerful methods that can help us discover things that normally we would not have the space to realize about ourselves. Our interconnection, feeling part of this world. These are things that kind of spontaneously arise when you're in a forest and you're sitting quietly. You do feel a part of it, at least in moments where there aren't thoughts. There is no separation between you and the forest. There's no thought saying, I am George, and this is the forest separate from me. Instead, in that moment of presence and meditation, however you want to call it, you are just present in that time. So yeah, it's powerful. Sensi Morla Questa says, George, I found funny that you had to go to China to find the forest while I went to England for the same reason. Do you think you need a long journey to get deeper? Well, I think that's a great question. One of the messages of the film is that actually all of us have this wisdom built into us. I'll just repeat the script for you because it's now in my head and in my body. The fact that the same insights can spontaneously pop up around the world over time suggests that there is a wisdom built into us. The human organism knows what it needs and knows how it fits into the bigger picture if we give it time to give us the thoughts to help us understand who we really are. And so, at the end of the film, I go off and talk to people here, and because everyone's been locked down, they've had more time to get into nature and to reflect, that they do realize their interdependence and the healing power of nature, and a lot of the same insights that the Taoists had thousands of years ago. So that suggests that you don't need to go far away to China to realize all these things. I would say that there is some utility in getting away from your normal way of being. And this is often why, silent meditation retreats and traveling does teach you something. One, because, with traveling, it takes you out of takes you out of your own culture and into a different way of looking at the world. And so you get given different perspectives. And then similarly, going into the forest, it can be any forest, gives you a different perspective. It's a different world that you then inhabit in your walk, in your time in the forest. And so you definitely can learn from just getting into nature, the closest nature close to you. So for example, there's a great set of woods near Bristol, and that has been important for me to go on walks, and when I was writing the scripts for this film, regrounding and being in the forest and using that as a teacher to help guide the writing of this film. So yeah, it's all important, and I would say that you don't have to go anywhere particular to find out these things, because else, it wouldn't be something that's true about human nature in general if it could only be reserved for somewhere that's far away. But I'd say that having the distance from your normal ways of being and your normal habits is what makes the journey of discovery easier. I'm just going to do my focusing trick again. Is it possible it's not about the destination, but it's truly about the journey? Exactly. So, you guys, the fact that you're on this channel and we've got this community means that you guys are curious about yourself and how you work, like I am. And so even that intention can be powerful. And it suggests that you want to get deeper, and that kind of inquiry in itself is very powerful. And so it's not like after 5 years of meditating or going far away that finally you get it. No, instead, it's a journey of a lifetime of understanding ourselves, and we'll never fully understand ourselves or life. Zhuangzi talks about how, you can read and read and read. There's books that last forever, but that's not a game that you can win. You can't complete the intellectual world. And if that was true in Zhuangzi's time, then my God, it's true today. I think Leonardo da Vinci in the 1500s was one of the last people who supposedly knew most things that all of humanity knew at that time. He was a polymath, an engineer, a mathematician, an artist, chemist, all these different things. But today, it's basically impossible to be an expert in chemistry and physics because we got so deep in each of them. So that's not a game that we can win. And so it's not about the destination. It's not about arriving when we're 70 and finally having done life. Instead, yes, enjoying the process, enjoying learning, and yeah, I think all the sort of inquiry that you'll do for yourself will help you feel more grounded and to be more resilient and to enjoy life more. So it's not like it's an either or. It's not like I have to do this and then I'll feel this. Instead, it all builds on each other, that sort of work. Do we think going to make a new film anytime soon? I think there will be another one. I'm quite keen on having a break. We both need some rest and some emptiness after having quite an intense time making this film. But yeah, I mean, the YouTube channel is an extension of this sort of film. I think probably a long form like that won't do one for a while, but certainly films on the YouTube channel. Charles has had an incredible adventure studying Taoism while quarantined in my house. Lovely. Right. So, yeah, maybe let's get Joe over. And if you've got any questions for the wonderful editor, Joe, who is a distance away, who can come over, then, yeah, if you want to ask anything about the filmmaking process, then you can do. And if you haven't shared yet, I'd be grateful if you could share the film right now and tell your friends to share it if you think that the film can help them and benefit the people in their network. Right, we have the magical mystery man himself, Joseph Wells.
Hello.
So this is
strange. I've never done this before. I feel like I'm talking to no one. I know that's not true.
I'm just going to get you in the frame a bit more.
Okay.
There we go.
Shall I get comfortable?
You get comfortable. It feels like we're in a TV set because it's like they've got the blue sofas. We've got quite a nice back. It's quite professional compared to my normal room setup.
George's room. Where's the yin yang cushion?
Yin yang cushion. We needed that actually.
Yeah.
Stick that on you.
Okay.
Getting even more professional. So, so people who haven't seen Joe yet, so he's been working actually with me and the Online Academy for the last year. So we started working together in March 2020. And yeah, it's been really great for me. yeah, Joe studied film at uni, and so like is a talented editor and brings a different skill set to the one that I have, and so that film that you just watched is the synthesis between two brains and two skill sets that both bring something different and something really important that made the film ultimately what it is, which I think is a much more powerful story. So thank you, first of all. Really grateful for your creativity and skill.
And thank you to all the audience who, of course, made this possible. In so many ways, obviously it's nice to have work, first and foremost, especially during a pandemic. And this has enabled me to, eat as well as move back to Bristol. The pandemic forced me away from my, I almost said hometown. But also, this has become part of my life as well, just through proximity, but also I think it's a really valuable journey collectively that everyone's on and that George is on as well. And I'm lucky to be able to do this. And so, yeah, thank you for making that possible.
Exciting. Any thoughts on the filmmaking process? Like, how would you, so basically I came back with 5 terabytes of footage over the 10, 11 months of going through Siberia and then, having the time on the mountain. And then basically gave that to Joe and said, right, we're making a film, and then kind of set you off from there. So how would you summarize that process for people?
It starts off very undramatic, non-dramatic. It looked a lot like me in my room watching those 5 terabytes of footage, looking for a story. Even though the story is quite self-evident in the end, we looked, and even towards the end of the process, we were finding new things, going back into the footage to find some way of sort of visually demonstrating what's happening to you personally and the philosophical learning journey that's also happening. So it starts with that. You need to familiarize yourself with the footage, and you need to sort of become one with it, so that whenever you think you might need something, you already know that this clip exists and you know what happens and who says what. And then you can start getting to work with actually making the film, which is the exciting part. It's sort of a process of ongoing and growing excitement from then on. But the process, as much as I'd studied it, I'd never gone through it in this scale. This is the biggest thing I've ever been involved in as well. It's been half a year of both of our lives, and it's just, it's great. It's very fulfilling. It's very creatively satisfying, but also it feels like it has a positive purpose as well, which is good. The process, I couldn't take you through it. It would take me forever. I'm done being an editor for now, so I can't present the information concisely. I'm putting that skill on hold. I'm going to go on holiday.
A much needed holiday.
For both of us, I think,
Yeah. It's certainly the biggest project that I've ever worked on. And I think there's an interesting, I think I've had a much bigger appreciation of like Hollywood and like actual filmmaking, and just how it's a different category compared to the YouTube videos that you've been watching over the past however many years. Like a lot of work and love goes into that, and we feel like we're creating a quality that isn't normally on YouTube, but this is just a whole other level of time and investment and thinking and storytelling to be able to create a narrative. And the fact that, I was talking to a friend who works in Pinewood Studios, which is one of the big Hollywood studios in Britain. She's in Unit 1 of the film crew, and Unit 1 has 300 people in, and there's 3 units. So imagine that, like you've got a team with 300 people, there's like camera operator, 5, 6, 15, 20, all these people, and then basically me and Joe.
We're Unit 1.
We're Unit 1, 2, 3, and
Unit 0.
All the units.
But we've had a lot of help as well. Like it's been 2, 3, 4 of us, depending on, there are 4 key creative voices, but we've had a lot of help along the way.
Yes. There's some comments about the music, and that is the wonderful George Bloomfield, who we are close to. So a lot of the music was created for the film, which is exciting. And then there's Mako Lee, who did the animation, And that is actually a friend of Master Gu's from China, Shiyan, very close to Wudang, which is again exciting that we can involve Chinese creatives rather than it just being British creatives.
It's nice actually, because when we started to work together, we were doing the online academy and I was producing the content for that. And that was very much, you were in China recording this stuff and then sending it over, like masses of footage online, and I was in a living room in Lancashire in England, receiving these things and making these videos and then uploading them. And it felt very much like, as complicated and needlessly drawn out as it was nice to have that sense that there were people busy on something on different sides of the planet, and we still have that with the animator, and Master Gu's always helps us with translations and things. And so it's nice to have that idea as well, that even though we're both now here, for the first half a year of us working together, we weren't in the same country, but now we are. We're here working on this film, and yet it still feels very international, which is very nice.
Indeed. Global Taiji family.
Oh, it's the power of the internet as well.
Yes. All right, we've got a good question from EJP. How do you apply the Dao to filmmaking?
This is a question that actually really excites me, because I, depending on how you word it, I suffered or put myself through 3 years of film school, and you know, it's all about the deeper theorizing on cinema as an art form. And my first thought when I came upon this stuff, and especially when you presented the idea of making something like this, you know, like a film, was like, how do we create Taoist film? What does Taoist film look like? What is cinema that embodies these ideas and this way of living and thinking and acting in the filmmaking process as well as in the film? And a lot of it feels quite natural and not very revolutionary, which I think in a way reflects Taoism as a whole. It is about returning to the more natural side of your life, as far as I understand it. And so we have conversations when we're looking at the film about whether there's enough yang and enough yin. Is there enough information? Are we being clear enough? But also, are we giving people time to sort of just enjoy what they're looking at? Are we giving the information room to settle so that people can really think and feel about what they're being told? We obviously have some action, and then we have some relaxation. I think the nature is very important. We've put a lot of effort into 2 or 3 scenes in this film. I keep looking at the screen and you're all here, sorry. And I'm glad that this is being picked up on, is that we did spend a lot of time trying to create this like fundamentally natural experience of being in nature. It's very difficult to put it on screen in a way that someone can watch it on a phone and feel satisfied with it, and sort of get an actual idea of what we're trying to communicate. So there's a lot of focus on that, specifically in this world of, you know, fast-paced media and YouTube and the internet, like finding ways that the film can tend to the need for the relaxing side of life, and, you know, the less energetic, the more pensive side of things has been the challenge and the reward, I think, of this film. But yeah, that's Dao film, if you ask me right now. That's my essay.
Yeah, and for me, it's, I think like nature is an important part of it. And I said earlier, like a lot of the writing process for me has been going into the forest and trying to be there and allow that to tell me what needs to be done. And I think an interesting challenge is having emptiness in it as well, because I'd say that I'm kind of representative of the yang culture of, you know, modern capitalism. And so having some yin, not only in the video, so like having emptiness and having nature breaks, but also, you know, in the actual process of making it, so that, say for example, I write a bit and then I go for a walk and not think about it, but then thoughts come up, and allowing that to create deeper insights into the direction of the film. And then, I'd say that a general principle for the channel is tentative. So, you know, the Tao talks about the mystery, like the world is too complicated to be fully comprehended with the intellect. And so, you know, if we were in this film to say, right, X, Y, Z, this is how the world works, this is what you need to do, you know, go off and do it, you know, that wouldn't be particularly Taoist. And so, yeah, I think what I enjoy about the synthesis of the film is that, you know, Joe comes from more of a film narrative-based world. I kind of come from philosophy and trying to, you know, share information with you. And I think the synthesis between the two has meant that we have still, you know, communicated important information and deep information, but told through my experience and my story, and in a way that offers you a way of thinking about the world without then dictating. And I think that's, you know, a general principle that we are both passionate about, you know, because you have all these fake gurus on the internet that say, you know, give me $1,000 and, you know, I'll change your life in 3 seconds or whatever it is. There's so much bullshit in our modern world that having people that say, you know, we don't actually know the exact answers, but, you know, this is our best understanding, I think has been an important principle that has guided us.
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah.
Oh, fix my mic. Let's have a look.
Are you off?
I'm still on. But,
Is it me?
Mic check. Hey, let's have a look. Hey. I think we're still working.
Am I on?
You lost your mic.
You lost your mic.
Well, I think with that anyway, with that, I think it's still working on our side, but rubbing against clothing.
Oh, it's me, isn't it? Put this on the other side.
You could stick it on that. Yes, well, thank you everyone. I'm very, very grateful for you watching and being with us and supporting us. And yeah, again, if you can share the film, be grateful for doing that. Any closing words?
Enjoy the film again. From experience, I'd say it only gets better. So I'm on my 412th view now, and it's always a spiritual experience. So keep watching and do make sure you share it. I don't like saying that, but I think there are important ideas here, packaged in a relatively new way, in a way that is very accessible, and hopefully they'll do some good for people. That's the aim, definitely.
For sure. Can't put it better myself. Thank you, everyone. And yeah, we'll see you when we see you next. We're going to take some emptiness and have some much needed holiday. Yes. But yeah, hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.